At the end of this video, we'll take a look at Mad Ramp's innovative pivoting ramp system, the safer, easier way to transport your ATVs and snowmobiles. Stick around. Before we get started, I'd like to give a quick shout out to some of our friends. The Eastern Snowmobile Racing Hall of Fame. Search for them on Facebook. Central Minnesota Pond Racing. Search for them on Facebook. The historic Lancaster Motel for the ultimate Eastern trail riding adventure. Crane's Snowmobile Museum at 172 Main Street in Lancaster, New Hampshire. The Vintage Snowmobile Club of America Quarterly Magazine. The Bridge Street Garage Racing Team, the house racing team of the Vintage Snowmobile Podcast. The New Hampshire Snowmobile Museum at Bear Brook State Park in Allenstown, New Hampshire. And lastly, if you decide to advertise with the Vintage Snowmobile Podcast, this could be your advertising message. Thanks for letting me know about that. I had my mic off this whole time. I am so embarrassed, guys. But thank you for so much for letting me know. You guys know how this works to make comments to communicate with me. And I was just rambling away there. None of it was being recorded. I apologize, but let's continue on with the program. So everyone's here saying no audio. Someone please make a comment to let me know that we now have audio since I've turned my microphone on. Yeah, look at all of these comments. Thank you so much, everyone, for letting me know that there was no audio. I appreciate it. I'm waiting here for a comment for someone to say that they now can hear me since I've turned the microphone on. Going through here. There we go. Okay. Now we're getting some comments. They can hear me. Okay. We are in business, folks. And sorry to race through all of these comments, but we will get. I'll bring them on the screen as we continue with the program so that I can bring our guests on. And I'm going to do that right now. We've got our house racing team, the Bridge Street Garage Racing Team, Spencer Beattie and Lucas Nast. And we're going to bring them on right now. How you guys doing tonight? Let me turn your microphone on too. Why isn't it coming on? Yeah, if you guys can hold with me here for a second. There we go. Now yeah, we've got you on now. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Okay, good. Gotta love technology, especially when it's not going your way. But yeah, we're here. Guys, yeah, welcome to the program. I really appreciate your coming on. Why don't you take a moment to introduce yourselves and tell us just a quick backstory on the Bridge Street Garage Racing Team. I'm going to put you guys full screen.
So Bridge Street Garage started, I would say, about 5 years ago when we started racing snow. Hold on one sec. I got to fix this thing. Keeps
Sure.
wanting to fall off.
While you're doing that, I'm going to put a graphic up. This is a graphic that shows some of the things we're going to be doing tonight. We're going to go till about 9:30 or 9:35 with Spencer and Lucas with the Bridge Street Garage Racing Team. And then we've got a whole other lineup of Vintage Snowmobile entertainment for you. And how are you guys doing with that adjustment?
I think we're good.
Good. Let me bring you back. And
there we go.
Back. All right. Yeah. Please continue your thought.
So yeah, we started, I would say, about 4 or 5 years ago. We started racing snow. We've been racing before that, and then we decided to get together, and we had a nice little group of friends that have always been in the snowmobiling industry, and so we kind of all got together, put our thoughts together, and we first built some Ski Doo TNTs, 340s for the junior class. And we raced in the Great North Woods circuit first. So we started with those, and then we advanced to some 440 modified sleds.
440 twins.
Yep, and they were twins. And so we did that for 2 or 3 years. And then we decided last year I raced on the ice, and then this year Spencer decided he would make the jump over. So now that we're full ice, so we're kind of getting the shop all fixed up and changed to accommodate us for our new racing, I'd say.
Redoing our race trailer over, giving that a full-blown makeover.
Nice. As far as the sleds, is there a big adjustment to make going from snow to ice?
Yes, it's a whole different snowmobile.
Sure.
Our other sleds were pretty much just stock chassis, and we changed a bunch of stuff, but they were mostly stock chassis, modern race suspensions out of snowcross sleds, and big leaf springs for the snow moguls. And the new chassis are all hand built, low to the ground. Yeah, the center of gravity is really low on them. Everything's
less suspension travel.
Yeah. So it takes a whole different snowmobile, really.
Sure. Now, for racers that are just getting into racing, do they typically start with snow and then escalate into ice racing? Is that kind of how that goes with most people, or?
We kind of think it depends on where in the area you are, because
Sure.
up here we don't really have a lot of ice races. I mean, we're starting to get some now. Unity Pond, they're starting to bring out some good races, and hopefully that continues in the future. And hopefully we can get some more back this way. Be kind of nice and save on the mileage for traveling.
Yeah, for sure. So that's a big factor then. What is closest to you?
Yeah, no, it sure is.
Yeah. We have there's a lot of snow racing around here. Like Spencer said, there's not a lot of ice races, so we kind of take what you can get, for sure.
Sure.
You know, the Lancaster Snow Derby puts on a really, really good snow race. Good series. They do a series event, and Stratford also does a really good one also. And Lisbon Stump Jumpers, they do one.
Yeah, they've done that for 12 years now, I think.
Yeah.
12 years consecutive, so.
It's been good. There's the ice racing is definitely, like Spencer said, growing up here. Unity is doing a really nice job with putting on their events. And I believe there's another race in
What is it? South Branch?
South Branch is also doing some in Maine. So we're hoping that New Hampshire kind of gets one going here, but it's definitely not going to stop us. We're going to do any traveling we need to do.
Sure. So you're not opposed to traveling long distance to go to the races you'd like to go to participate in the way you'd like to participate?
No, I mean, Spencer keeps saying next year we're going to Manitoba. So
yeah, we're going to go to Beausejour, Manitoba next year. That's the goal.
Nice.
That's an 8-hour drive from here.
Yeah, no doubt. What's the attraction over there? What is it about that place that jumps out at you?
In December, it's normally the first weekend in December, and it's one of the biggest tracks, I believe, on the ice.
Nice.
It's a real nice venue. I mean, they do a good job for sure.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to switch topics a little bit. Do I understand that you were both second generation racers? Is that your dad in the background, and he was a racer at one time?
Yeah, he keeps walking around. We're actually at the shop right now. We're painting.
There he is. How you doing, Bill?
That's him. So we're down here getting hoods ready to paint, and he's over there sanding and going right at it. So, yeah, he started racing back in 68. So
68. Yeah.
Yep. And
his grandfather started it.
Yeah.
Used to be an Arctic cat dealer, Littleton, New Hampshire.
Yeah. So that would make you guys third generation racers then. So Bill is a second generation racer, and his father was a first generation racer.
Yep.
That is amazing. And then Spencer has some history as well. I think his dad used to race. Did he not?
No, my dad used to race go-karts.
Go-karts. Okay.
Yeah. My grandfather helped on the Timberland machine race crew.
Yeah.
Back in the 70s.
Sure.
So,
and then your father has organized the Lancaster Grand Prix, I think, in 2014, I think?
Yeah, we did it all the way from the 2014 to 17. He was the chairman through the whole 3 years of it.
Nice.
Hopefully,
and then if I understand, go ahead.
That'd be really nice.
Yeah. And then the other connection to racing and snowmobile history that Spencer has is, was it your grandparents or your great-grandparents that founded the Lancaster Motel?
My great-grandfather built it, I believe, in 1955.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So you both have deep roots and deep connections to racing.
Yeah,
for sure.
Outstanding. That is very cool. And I'm going to invite people who are viewing this, if they have questions for you or want to make comments about what we're discussing here tonight, to please join us in the comments. I've got the comments on the screen here so I can pop them up as they come in. But now, how did the two of you find each other to begin racing together as a team?
It's kind of funny how that works. So I was racing with my father and my brother. My brother actually started first. My dad came home and said, "We're gonna do some vintage racing," and I said, "Oh, good," thinking I was gonna be able to do it. And he said, "Your brother's go race next week." I said, "Oh, good. What am I racing?" He said, "You're gonna watch."
Too young.
And I was young at the time, so I think the first race he raced, and then the second race We both did it. We built a 292, 1971 292 Lynx.
Yeah.
And so I raced that. My brother had a Panther. Cheetah. He says cheetah. So
340.
And then we did build a Panther after that. But so we started with those, and then I raced for about 2 years, and then me and Spencer used to go to high school together.
Yeah, we had lunch at the same time, and he said to me one day, "Hey, you should get into racing with me." And I said, "Well, what's that entail?" "Well, come down to my dad's. I'll show you." And that's what all it took.
Nice.
Yeah, so we ended up coming down here, and we decided we were going to start racing Ski Doo TNTs because they were pretty dominant. And that's what my dad ended up racing in '74. He had a free air 340, so we jumped on that bandwagon, and we built 2 of those to start. And I believe I was young. I didn't even have my license. Spencer just barely had his license.
Yeah.
So I'd say I was probably around 13. And we started with the TNTs, and then we just kept building, and then we started racing with Bridge Street Garage and jumping on that bandwagon.
Yeah, this will be the 10th year that me and him have raced together.
10 years.
10 years it's been. This coming 2022 race season will be 10 years.
That's impressive. That is very cool. Do you find that it gets better each year as far as you just keep refining what you're doing and improving on everything? Or
the toys get more expensive as the years have gone on.
Yeah,
I bet.
Say the least. But we, to answer your question, Mike, we usually build new sleds every year, so we really haven't been able to refine any of them. But after this year, because we just built a couple super mods, an F500 and another sled, we're going to really focus on those. We really want to do the best we can with the sleds that we have in every year. Well, for the next few years, just keep making improvements. We're hoping that they'll last us at least 3 to 4 years before we got to build new chassis and update everything completely.
Now, when you're starting with a new chassis to build, are you thinking about the things that you liked and disliked about previous chassis that you want to either make sure to have or not have on this new one?
Correct. Yeah, we try to, after I raced on the ice last year, and I found a lot of things that I did not like about the other chassis, so we kind of steered away from it, and then we stuck with the things that I did like, and we just kept trying to improve for this year.
Nice. So constant refinement.
Right, for sure.
Good. So tell me about the Bridge Street Garage Racing Team. How many people are involved with that, and what are the roles of each of the people? Or
I'd say that there's about 5 to 6 of us that are pretty consistently there 3-4 times a week. Me and Lucas are there literally every night, 7 days a week.
Yeah.
Plus the guy that owns the place.
And then plus Rusty, he's the one that helps us out quite a bit. It's actually his garage, so he's out there till 2 a.m. with us.
Yeah.
Nice. Totally committed.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's the nice thing that, our team is honestly very, very, that's probably one thing that really makes us stand out the most is we really bond together a lot, and we work really good together. And, so, we're all very close, we're like family, and everyone's there for each other and want to improve us and the team together, because takes all of us to win. It's not just a snowmobile, but so Rusty Scott that's his garage, and he puts a lot of time into it. He does a lot of the building and designs a lot of the chassis. He's been in it for a long time. So we're very fortunate to have him. My father, he's had the body shop all his entire life. So we got it made there for paint department and painting everything. And
Yeah, we can't thank Nast Auto Body enough.
that's right.
Nice.
And then Sean Whiting, he usually comes to every single race with us. He doesn't miss a single one. Stephen Shear, he comes quite often as well. And they're all really good hands to have, because when someone needs an extra hand, and the nice thing is you don't have to tell them twice. You can just say, hey, can you go do this? And they do it. And sometimes, most of the time you don't even have to tell them. They're on it, before. So we've got a very, very good group of people, and, everyone has their own roles. Everyone, already knows what needs to be done. And that's what makes us very unique. We got a shop that has a lot of equipment. Bridge Street Garage is very, very well built with equipment wise to build these sleds. And then down here at my dad's shop, we got everything we need to do for paint department, painting, anything really. He's got a lot of tooling too, so works very good.
Now, since we're doing this, I'd like to give a shameless plug both to Bridge Street Garage as well as the Nast Body Shop. Can you tell a little bit about what each of these businesses does, so in case anyone is in the area and in need of that kind of work, what is it that's available to them?
Right. You can talk about Bridge Street Garage. It's not. I'll let you talk about it.
It's kind of I'd say it's kind of private. We don't really go out looking for work. It's kind of just our little gang, if you want to call it. And
Sure.
Yeah.
Is it strictly snowmobiles, or is it cars and other types of?
They have time for others.
Right.
But we do. We are starting to make parts. We've got a lot of tooling, like I said. So, we've got lathes, we got a Bridgeport, we got metal brake. So a lot of the parts that we used to buy when we were snow racing, we can now build, which is very, very helpful.
Very cost effective.
It saves
you fabricate what you need.
Right. And it's not like you have to wait for it, which is a nice thing. If you want it now, you can have it now.
Fabricate it right there.
Right.
And make adjustments to it if you're not completely happy with it.
For sure.
Right on the spot.
Right.
Nice.
And so my dad, he got out of high school and had a couple body shops, and he's still doing it to this day. And he does not just body work, he does small engine work as well. So anything you can think of, he does it.
Nice.
So.
Now, what makes we've talked about what makes Bridge Street Garage as a race team stand out from other teams, but have we missed anything? Is there anything else that you'd like to say about the team that maybe has going on that maybe other teams don't?
I would say at this plan level, snow racing to ice racing really divides the group of people up for sure. Definitely costs more, takes a little more intelligence, I would say.
Sure.
But I think what makes us so, I would say, standing out, or it's really the group of people that we have doing it.
The camaraderie.
Yeah, it's all family driven. It's all friends, and everyone shows up. We have a group text and we chat throughout the day, and everyone knows, when we get out of work, we're all going to Bridge Street Garage and we're working on snowmobiles.
Yeah.
And it's not like you gotta really ask. Everyone just does it because they enjoy doing it and they want to see us succeed and do well. And I would say every team's like that, but I know that we have been in that garage since the last race of last year.
Yes, yeah. Last race.
So we put a lot of time. I can't stress that enough. Every single night, me and Spencer are there.
Nice. So that actually is a perfect setup for the next question. What kind of maintenance and work goes into these sleds before, during, and after a race? What's involved with that?
A lot. I would say, before we get to the track, there's a lot of I mean, we take these things apart pretty much every weekend, check them all out. I mean, everything, it has a lot of stress. I mean, we're going high speeds, the tracks aren't always relatively smooth. And there's a lot of stress on them. And so there's a lot of welding. So you got to check, cracks. We have a lot of picks in them. So the picks usually can sometimes break. So you got to constantly check the picks after every single time you even run it. It doesn't matter if it's a 3-lap qualifier or if it's hot laps. Every time that sled goes out on the track, it comes back in the trailer and completely gone through. So, I mean, the steering has to be checked constantly. The clutching, we completely go through the clutches every time we run them. We check for stress cracks, because the last thing we need is to go back out on the track and have an incident or a wreck or have a crash, something that could have been preventative. Preventative maintenance is always
Sure.
Yeah, we don't like surprises.
No,
especially at those speeds.
Yeah.
No.
So,
No doubt.
I mean, after the race, we bring them all back to the shop. Check the engines all over. I mean, we try not to do anything that's not necessary, but it takes a lot of work. I mean, like I said, they completely gone through. So,
yeah. And I'm sure on race day, you're probably adjusting for the conditions of that day.
Yep, jetting. Jetting's a big one.
Yep.
Sure.
Gears, clutching,
Air density.
Air density. Once that raises or lowers, you got to make some adjustments, and even traction. In the morning it can be, very hard, and then soften up at the end of the day, and you might need to pull some studs out the outside band, and even change carbides. Carbides get worn quite a bit, so constantly need to sharpen them and make sure everything's up to par.
Yeah, constantly checking to see what kind of an edge you have on that.
Sure.
Now I've got some video clips that you sent me a while back. Let's take a look at one of them, and then when we come back, I'll have you comment at what we just looked at. How does that sound?
Sounds great.
All right, let's do it. Cool. Yeah. Tell me, what were we looking at there?
So that was Unity's race in Unity, Maine. That was the 340 mod class. Believe that was probably a feature race. So I believe they do 6 laps. You could see some corners were a little rougher than others, but pretty wide track, you know.
Yeah.
Nice long straightaways. It's a fun track.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of fun. Now these sleds, how modern are these sleds? Are they, what goes into building these things? And is it the sort of deal where you buy something and then modify it or build it to your liking, or do you buy something turnkey and that's what you're using? Or
Well, we this year we bought a chassis, and then the rest we bought the pan, the cab, and you buy the skid, you buy the track, etc. But the rest of it is all us hand making it. The foot stirrups, the
Steering.
steering, the skis, the shock. Well, we don't make the shocks, but we buy the shocks, make the mounting brackets for them. Build out.
adjust it to your liking.
We do all that stuff.
Nice. So you start with a platform and you customize it to your liking and to what you're going to need for the season.
Yeah, the biggest thing is fitting yourself, like myself, Lucas, to the sled.
Yeah,
You know, you got to be comfortable on it to make it go good. So,
sure. Get the most out of it.
yep.
And then go ahead. I'm sorry.
I would say, you know, also they're, for like technology wise, they're pretty close to the same as a modern sled. We've got a lot of data loggers on our sleds. I mean, this is something new that I've been kind of tiptoeing with this year. You know, you can buy a bunch of data loggers nowadays, but I got hooked up with a guy with Holly Performance, and he hooked me up with a really good data logger system that does, you know, drive shaft, jack shaft RPM, G forces, so it shows you how your whole shots are, side roll, so in the corner you can know if like how your bite is, because sometimes when you're on the sled and you're racing it, you don't always feel one thing, but it, you know, it could be playing mind games with you.
Yeah.
So it's actual data. So we can plug right into it. It shows RPM. It shows speed. So it can show what the sled is actually doing at that point on the track, because it does GPS tracking and shows you, you know, what RPM you're at. What did the jack shaft do? What did the drive shaft do? What did the speed do? Did the RPMs fall? Did you spin coming out of the hole? I mean, there's a lot. I mean, modern sleds don't even have a lot of that technology yet. So, I mean, they're pretty close to the same.
Nice. And that takes all of the emotion out of it, like you were saying. If you're not sure what's going on, this gives you some data, so
Yeah.
you know one way or another what was happening there.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we can plug right, like I said, we can plug right into the box and bring up right on the computer graphs and, you know, visual data to show you, like, shows you on the track. It shows you whereabouts you are on the track, shows you exactly numbers. And so, I mean, it's pretty impressive.
Wonderful. That's cool. Now, in the few minutes we have left, tell me, if you would, what you have planned for the upcoming season and the World Championships, and what's on the horizon for you guys.
So I would say it's going to we've got about 3 or 4 more weeks of shop time before we make our first trip to Wisconsin. We're going out to Wisconsin the second week in December, if all goes well. We're going to go out there to dyno and test for a week.
Yeah.
You know, the World Championship is the first race of the season, which, especially for us out here in New Hampshire, we don't really have ice
Much until after that, anyway.
Yeah,
Sure.
So we're going to go out there for a week. We're going to dyno. We're going to learn a lot about our sleds, because we built all new sleds this year, so it's definitely needed. And then we're going to come back home. We're going to regroup, get everything ready in the trailer. We got a 36-foot trailer that's all set up, so, you know, we got a lot of packing to do for our trip to Wisconsin. Again, January. I think we're going out for the first week in January.
Leaving the 3rd.
We're leaving the 3rd. So, and we're going to go out there for a week and a half for the World Championship. So we got a lot of packing for that, and a quick trip there, quick trip back, and then another quick trip there. And the way the World Championship works is it starts on Wednesday. You can park your trailer there, and then Thursday you can do hot laps, some test time.
Yeah.
Paid time anyways. And then Friday, the WC, the World Championship time trials start. And then that goes for about half the day. And then Friday Night Thunder starts up after that with kind of setting you up for the night, because Friday night's a late night out there for sure.
Mm-hmm.
We've that, you know, and that sets you up. The winner of the Friday Night Thunder goes to the World Championship automatically, so you don't have to race Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah. And
then Saturday's a bunch of the other classes, you know, the stalker classes, some mod stocks, still some super mod stuff. And then Sunday there's the finals for those classes, and then in the afternoon on Sunday is the World Championship. There's also the LCQ, the last chance qualifiers for the last two positions for the World Championship Sunday. So
that's a full weekend.
Yeah, it's a full week. I mean, we're going to get out there.
Yeah.
We're going to get out there Monday or Tuesday. We got a house for a week, so we're going to get settled in there. And then Wednesday, bring the trailer up, park it, set it all up. There's a lot of setting up to do, and then ready for the week. And then after the World Championship, we come back, and I believe we have a race in Unity.
Yep.
Unity Pond, ice ovals. We got a race there, and then come back after that.
The next one will be Boonville, New York.
Boonville, yep.
And that's February 4th and 5th. I haven't heard exactly if they're running or not. I know it's been up in the air. But that's the plan. That's on our schedule. And then we're going to go to back to Unity for February 12th for another. I believe that's also Valcourt States. So kind of that's a mixed toss up there. They're going to run some super mod stuff and some F500 stuff. So that's the same weekend as Unity. And then Eganville's in the mix there as well. And
I think Eganville's a 17.
Yeah, I believe it's the 17th.
16, 17.
Yeah, somewhere around there. And then we're going to go back to Unity.
For the 26th.
For the 26th.
Good. So you guys have a full calendar.
Yeah. And if Boonville, as we're talking about going back out to Eagle River, Wisconsin for Derby weekend, they run some super mod stuff again out there as well. So we definitely want to get some racing in this year. And also I know the whole team wants to get some test time in. So we got to fit that in there as well. We've got a nice test track right here, as long as we have cold weather.
Good. So before we wrap up, I'm going to give you guys a chance to give some shameless plugs to your sponsors. Do you have sponsors lined up? And if so, do you want to give shameless plugs for them?
Yeah, absolutely. I know we got Woody's on board with us this year, which we're about Woody's Traction. So get your studs and all your traction devices through them. We got Climb on board with us this year. Super happy about that. And then we've got VP Fuel, race fuel. They're on this year, so that helps. And then we got some small town
local
sponsors. Capital Well, they just barely jumped on with us, and we're happy to have them. Swallow and Sons Landscaping, super happy to have them on board, and Cameron Seal Coat. So very that.
So if we have any Lancaster viewers on here tonight, be sure to patronize those businesses.
And then we also have Beattie Enterprise as well.
Yeah.
So they're a big help. A lot that's not shown, but they do a lot for us. So
wonderful.
And also the other sponsor that we have is our bank accounts.
Yeah, we call it the SNL. What do we call that? The SNL Bank, I believe. We are. I see.
That's right.
Nice.
So
yeah, you got to do it. That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, I appreciate you guys coming on tonight, and be sure as you're on the road and doing things, if you can get some GoPro footage for us
Yeah.
that we
Yep.
can all enjoy, or I should say, if things are happening and you have a cell phone camera, if just take some footage with it, or take some footage of it that you can
Sure.
share with us later on. Maybe we can, the way we did a clip tonight, we can
Right.
have you on, you can talk up the clip, tell us what's happening, and something that we can all enjoy.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I know the week that we're in Eagle River, there'll be a lot, and maybe we can jump on to a quick pod.
That would be amazing. Whoops, we think we're losing your signal. Are you still there? The screen just went black. Okay, there we go. Oh, it went black again. And I lost your audio too. Yeah, I don't know. I think we've got a bad signal. So I'm going to say goodnight, guys, but I appreciate your coming on if you can hear me, and looking forward to having you guys on real soon, and best of luck with your racing in the upcoming months. All right, guys, take care. All right, well, how fun was that? That was enormously fun. And these guys are the house race team for the Vintage Snowmobile Podcast, and it was really fun having them on tonight. We wish them the very best of luck in the upcoming season. I'm going to go in here and see if we have any comments, and we do. James Spranger says he loves the show. He's a regular viewer from Wausau, Wisconsin. We've got Steve Woodward wondering what kind of speeds they're running, and I apologize that I didn't pull up your comment while they were still on. We'll have to ask them another time. We've got CJ Johnson. We've got Bill Nast checking in. And yes, Bill Nast is their dad who was walking around in the background. Thank you so much, Bill, for coming on. Yeah, he said the boys are doing a good job. Absolutely. We've got Glenn Ford wishing them luck in the upcoming season. CJ Johnson saying, what's the newest part you've put on for this year? And I should have put these questions on before we finish with them, so I apologize. But we'll have them on another time and ask them these questions, because we're going to be having this team on throughout the whole season. Like I said, these guys are the house racing team for the Vintage Snowmobile Podcast. So these guys are going to be regulars on the podcast all season. And we've got Jason Seymour saying, great show. Thank you, Jason. We appreciate it. So let's switch gears here and see what else we've got on the podcast tonight. We've got some footage that Don Arksey sent me a few years ago. This is some footage he took at the Snow Fever Snowmobile Show, Vintage Snowmobile Show in Forrest, Manitoba. Let me find that clip, and let's take a look at that. Here it is, right here. Let's take a look.
Okay, we're at the Forrest show and swap meet, Snow Fever. I got Willard Pugh, and he's going to tell us a little bit about his machine here.
This is 1974 Harley Davidson 398cc. Relatively rare because there's no AMF sticker on the side. There was only about 100 made that way. I actually talked to Karen Davidson one time when I was down south, and she had said there was only about 100 made without AMF. Motor is made for Harley Davidson in Italy. Okay, this one has electric start, and like I say, is a 1974 model.
Okay, thanks, Lord.
Good enough.
Cool, yeah. So thank you so much to Don Arksey for that footage. That was a nice Harley Davidson. Now, if you are attending Vintage Snowmobile shows in the upcoming season, I encourage you to do what Don just did. If you've got a cell phone with a camera, just hold it horizontally like this. For a wide shot, it's very difficult for me to work with vertical footage. And if you're feeling comfortable approaching people at the show, the exhibitors, and asking them to talk up their sleds, getting that kind of footage like he just did, please do that. Send it to me, and this is something that we can all enjoy, so we can all see what other people are doing in this hobby. And it's really easy to do. I do this at shows all the time. I'll tell you how I do it. There's no secret or anything. I just approach exhibitors and say, is this your sled? And they'll say yes or no. If it's a yes, do you feel like talking this up to go on Facebook and YouTube? And they say, well, I don't know. I say it's just real easy. It's just like telling a friend about your sled. And not everyone's comfortable doing that, but most people are. And you get some really nice footage of people talking up their sleds, and it's a great way for all of us to enjoy this and learn about different sleds that people have. So I encourage you, if you're going to shows, to get some footage that we can all enjoy here on the podcast. I'm going to take one more comment, and we're going to look into some more videos. Here we go. Yeah, and I do encourage in the comments, if you've got sled for sale, sleds wanted, sled for sale, parts. Glenn Pinkham is saying anyone interested in a Kawasaki for sale. He's got 3 sleds and several parts. So if you're curious about that, do reach out to him there in the comments, and he'll be happy to help you with that. And if you have any kind of questions or things for sale, please post them in the comment section. All I ask is that you keep it clean and keep it about vintage snowmobiles. Also, before we get into the next video, I do have to do this quick shout out to our good friends at the Lancaster Motel. And I will catch you on the other side of this shout out. I'd like to give a quick shout out to our friends at the historic Lancaster Motel in Lancaster, New Hampshire. The Lancaster Motel has been serving snowmobilers since the 60s, and they are the perfect eastern trail riding destination for snowmobilers young and old. The Lancaster Motel is right on Corridor Trail 5 in Lancaster, New Hampshire, with plenty of parking for vehicles, sleds, and trailers. Plus, the Lancaster Motel is within walking distance of Crane's Snowmobile Museum, plus restaurants, shopping, entertainment, and more. Click the link in the description to learn more about the Lancaster Motel. So yes, if you are planning some eastern trail riding this winter, the Lancaster Motel is right in town, and they're also right on the trail. So you've got the convenience of being in town and also the convenience of being on the trail. You don't have to cross or tow or anything to get to the trail riding. It's right there outside your door. And they rent by the night, by the weekend, by the month, or by the season. So if you're from out of state and you want to tow everything up there once and leave it there for the whole season or for a month or a couple of weeks, whatever duration you'd like, and then just go back and forth without having to tow, that's not for everybody, but for the right person, that's a wonderful situation. And they do offer that as one of the many things that they offer. So do please patronize our good friends at the Lancaster Motel. Here's the graphic one more time for the phone number. And I thank you in advance for that. What have we got next here on the podcast? We've got some footage that I did a few years ago. This is a very rare and unique snowmobile. This is a 1969 Sno Coupe. And this is with Paul Crane at Crane's Snowmobile Museum in Lancaster, New Hampshire, which incidentally is walking distance from the Lancaster Motel. Let me line up that footage and we'll take a look. Here it is right here.
This here is the Sno Coupe, and it's really quite a thing. It was real expensive. This is a 1969, the first year they came out, and it has a 372 J-Lo motor in it, or Rockwell, whichever you want to call it. It goes pretty good. It's speckled and everything, but the nicest thing about this is everybody that comes in here, including adults, especially kids, oh, that's a jetmobile. And they all love this one.
Everyone reacts to this one,
They
huh?
all love it. But believe it or not, in 1958, I had the sporting goods store selling Polaris, Ski Doo, and Yamaha, and everything. And I bought a brand new pickup in '68 for $2,700. 3-tone paint, V8 bucket seats. And this in '69 sold for more than the
Wow.
Chevy pickup.
That's crazy. I'd like to see those prices again today, though. Wouldn't that be nice? I do like that paint. Look at that.
Yeah, he's right. That does look like something you'd call a jet mobile or something like the Jetsons would use, doesn't it? It's a truly unique. I don't know how that handled, but truly unique snowmobile. Now, next up, we've got kind of a theme here with Lancaster tonight, but there's so much history in Lancaster that it's not hard to do. It's just that kind of a place. We're going to visit the site where the first Ski Doo snowmobiles were imported into the USA back in 1958. This is right in Lancaster, New Hampshire, and it's incidentally right behind the Lancaster Motel. Let's hear that conversation. This is Midge Rosebrook telling us about the location where those first Ski Doo snowmobiles came into the U.S.
Folks, this is the original site of the old Sherman Motors building that was purchased by Timberland Machines back in 1958. They sold Bombardier products from Ontario, Canada, and they needed a branch store in New England. So Bob Bottoms, the manager of the store in America, he came to New England and he looked all over. He looked at Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, Massachusetts. He did an extensive search, and he just happened to look at Lancaster as being the center hub of logging back in the 1960s and the late 50s, and he settled on Lancaster as the branch store. And behind me is where the old Sherman Motors building was. It was a Dodge dealership. They went out. He purchased the building, and this is where the original Bombardier Ski Doo came to America in 1959, right here. December 4th, 1959, the first Bombardier Ski Doo came to America.
They imported right into the building that stood on this spot.
This building is not the original building. The original building was torn down. This building was further down. They moved it up here. This building belonged to the old Thompson Manufacturing Company. And they moved it up here for a welcome center. But the original building, the Dodge dealership, that building was torn down. But it was in about this area.
You said it was at a different angle, huh?
It was a different angle. It was more like here, and I think it was more this way because there were some sheds to my left. There was a series of sheds where they kept the school buses back then. And so this whole area here was all Sherman Motors Company area at that time. And yeah, they had a phone call from J. Armin Bombardier sometime in 1958 to come up to Valcourt to check out this new little over-the-snow vehicle.
Yeah, so that is, if you're a Ski Doo enthusiast, that's where the story all started here in the U.S. And going back to that clip with that Sno Coupe, that video clip we looked at with that Sno Coupe, Paul Crane, he was the first American to ride a Ski Doo snowmobile in the U.S. and Canada. Yeah, and he's just down the street from there at the Lancaster Museum. So if you were traveling through New England and want to take in some snowmobile history, Lancaster, New Hampshire is the place to do it. You can stay at the Lancaster Motel. Right behind there is that location that Midge was talking to us from. And then at walking distance from there is Crane Snowmobile Museum, epicenter of snowmobile history in the East. All right, so what have we got next? We're going to look at some footage that Ralph Crusco sent to me a few years ago. This is a 1976 Ski Doo Olympique 340. And let me get that queued up. Right here.
It's alive. 1976. Alive.
Cool. Short but sweet. I remember those 76s. I also remember the Motoski was more or less rebadging that same sled as a Nuvik in 76. And my father's friend had one. And it was a sweet sled. I had a chance to take it for a ride, and very nice sled. Now, before we get into the next video, I have to give a quick shout out to our friend Ivan Mayu. Now, he sent me an email earlier in the week. It's on the screen here. It says, "Love the podcast." He's watched every single episode, and Ivan, I thank you so much for doing that. In 1999, he contracted the vintage sled bug that we all have. Since then, he's restored several vintage sleds. At heart, he's a Polaris guy, but when it comes to vintage, he likes all of them. And he sent us a few pictures of his collection. He says, "Keep up the good work, Ivan Mayu from Northern Ontario." Let's look at some images that he sent me of those sleds of his collection. And here's another image. and the same sleds from a different angle. Yeah, so thank you so much, Ivan, for checking in with that nice email. It was really nice to meet you, really nice to hear from you, and thank you for sending us some images that we can all enjoy. Really appreciate it. Okay, so what have we got next? We've got some footage sent to me a few years ago by Jeff Alderman. He has a really nice Rupp snowmobile collection. Now, before I show you these Rupps, I want to ask you as a viewer, if you've got any kind of vintage snowmobile collection, to do something like you're going to see with Jeff. He just went out there with a cell phone and took some nice video footage. And as you can see, it's broken up into little clips, but I edited the clips together, and it gave us a really nice presentation that we can all enjoy. And I'll ask, if you do that, is to hold the camera horizontally for wide shot, because it's very difficult to work with vertical footage. But let's take a look at Jeff's Rupp snowmobile collection. I think you're going to like it.
Okay, so here's a video of my 4 Rupps. There's 2 75 FA free airs here. On the left is a 440, then a 800 custom, which we'll get into that one a little bit later. Now we'll come over to the Magnums, and this is a 76 800 that's custom, and this is a 440 76 Magnum. Not quite sure yet which one's the pride of the fleet. Kind of a toss-up between them 800s. Okay, well, let's get you a view under the hood. Okay, so here we are again. Let's get a closer look at those 2 custom 800s. So let's see, 75. No, FA. No, they never did make it 875, or at least put it in that sled. And this, 76 Zenoa, 3-cylinder, 800. I don't think they had that either. I guess that makes them special. Right there is fast. And I ain't sure yet, because this one I just got. And I'll tell you what, every time I try to get more, she just gives more. Oh, pretty though. Real pretty. Okay, that's fair. You want to see a little bit more about these 800s. Well, in the FA, this is actually, I believe, out of a 71 Magnum. It's a 800 Hertz. It's out of a Rupp. So, the thing is, they did never put it in this sled. So we had that custom built down at the Rupp shop with Bill Eldestall. Quite a nice job on that one, as he does with most of his work, I hear. Guess that's why I went to him. She's pretty, and she's got some mean sound to her, and she's just a giver. All right, then here's the 800 Magnum. Now, again, I don't believe they ever made a triple. So what Bill did was took 2 440s, cut one in half, and I guess you weld them together. That ought to be pretty easy. Then you gotta make a crank that fits in there. Well, you know, on it goes. But that's a heck of a motor right there. They tell me don't be afraid to run her. She wants to run, but I'm just afraid when it breaks, what Bill's going to have to charge me to fix that one. So we'll see the 800s at the shows. We'll listen to them, but we won't see them on the line. And here's a little view from the rear. 75s and the 76s. And here's the other side, 76 to 75.
Yeah, I like those custom 800 triples. You don't see that every day. And he mentioned Bill Elvis Stull as the one who'd done that custom work. He's been on this podcast in the past, and he will be again in the future. We've got to make arrangements with him to have him come on. I know he's working on putting together a Rupp museum out there. Is he in, I think he's Wisconsin or Minnesota. I think he's in Wisconsin. But we'd like to have him on once that museum is ready for the big reveal I'm dying to know what's in that museum, as I'm sure you are, especially if you're a Rupp fan. Now, before we get into some more videos, we've got one more video. We've got some people weighing in with comments, though. Let's bring up some comments. Now, Glenn is talking about those Kawasaki's he mentioned earlier as being for sale. He wants these to go to Kawasaki enthusiasts. He's got 3 sleds and several parts for sale. He also has some memorabilia. So if you're curious about any of that, do reach out to him in the comments, and he will be happy to help you with that. Also, we've got some dear friends weighing in. We've got Judy Rinaldi saying hi to Diane Baker, and Diane Baker saying hi back. We love that. Yeah, both great lady racers from the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, and into the 90s. Unbelievable careers for both of them. So our last video of the night, we're going to be looking at some footage I took at a vintage snowmobile show in Island Pond, Vermont back in March. I had a great time at that show. Let me get that queued up. I've got so much here that I've got to scroll around, but here's that footage. Let's take a look.
How you doing? That's amazing with those vertical pipes. We're live on Facebook right now with 123 people watching. Do you feel like talking this up? Just, my name is and talk it up.
71 Lynx Wankel 303 rotary motor.
Wow.
Not a lot of them, but they made them for a couple of years.
Sure. What can you tell me about these vertical pipes? I've never seen anything like that.
Well, somebody decided to make it a mod, so they used to make a 734 mod, 634 and 7. The pipes come out the side.
Sure, Montana pipes?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Somebody came up with this idea. I didn't do it. I traded one of my vintage sleds for this one.
Sure.
Just had to have it.
Yeah, that's amazing. You know what? I'm going to get crazy here. I'm going to name those Idaho pipes because they're vertical. Idaho's like a vertical looking state.
Yeah.
Getting crazy and just trying new things.
Sounds good to me.
Let me give you my business card. I'm on Facebook. Are you familiar with Vintage Snowmobile Lovers? Over 50,000 fans. It's the largest community of vintage snowmobile enthusiasts anywhere, Facebook or otherwise. Oh. And we do a live podcast every week. And
really?
Yeah.
Nice, thank you.
You wouldn't by any chance fire that up again, would you?
Certainly.
That had a hell of a note going by. That was wonderful. That's amazing. Yeah, that is amazing. Where are you based out of?
Kirby, Vermont.
Kirby, Vermont. All right.
Not far.
Yeah, what was your name again?
Bob Halpin.
Halpin. Halpin.
Yeah.
Nice. Are you on Facebook? Should I look you up?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I am the trail master for Caledonia County Snowmobile Trail Club.
Yeah. Nice.
I gotta go get my clothespin so I can put my label on.
Yes, totally. Well, yeah, great meeting you, man. Thank you so much for talking that up.
All right.
That was a moment right there with those pipes. Cool deal. All right, man. Nice meeting you.
You too. Thanks.
All right, let's continue the quest for excitement here. Sorry. Are any of these yours? We're live right now on Facebook with 116 people. You want to talk it up? Just my name is, and just talk it up. Sure, yeah. Get right in the shot.
68 Alder. 69 Alder.
69 Alder. And what was your name again?
John Kilton.
Kilton. K-I-L-T-O-N?
T-I-L.
Oh, T-I-L-T-O-N. Sorry, with that sled going.
Yeah.
But we'll give him. There we go. Yeah, if you want to talk it up.
Well, ain't much to talk about it. I've had it probably 25 years or so.
25 years or so, yeah.
Got enough friend. I've had another one that I used to kept apart. Brother's done some work over the last couple of weeks with my nephew.
Yeah.
They stayed up till 11 o'clock last night trying to get the carburetor working.
I'm going to lay in the snow over there.
Sure. What can you tell us about the Alberg brand?
Originally it came out of the Alouette. Alouette made the basics of it.
Yeah.
I'm going to StarCraft too.
So is it made in Quebec or?
Yeah.
It is. Okay. Yeah. Good.
I've been finding this out on Google.
Oh yeah. Okay. Doing some research.
Yeah. I've only got one other guy here today that he's got one more machine.
Wow. So they're pretty rare then, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mostly a Canadian machine.
Mostly up in Quebec. Yeah.
So yeah, StarCraft. They had they had their own machines for a while.
Yeah. Very cool.
2 years.
Yeah.
I guess pretty much the same challenge.
Okay, yeah.
What I've Google, each of the 2 years that they made the Allbird, they made 5 different models. And this is the 20.
Yeah. Now, what does the 20 stand for?
I'm not 100% sure. Some of them could have meant like it had a 20-horse engine.
Sure, okay.
I got a book at home that shows how you can really boost the horsepower on it.
Yeah.
Putting the polish into the exhaust system and putting the tuning on it and then stuff.
Nice.
I just run it.
Sure. And this was registered in Vermont in the 72-73 season?
Yeah.
And 73-74 season?
Yep.
Oh, and 73 as well.
Got another one down here.
Oh, yes, look at that. Very cool.
Yeah, I'm out of Washington, Vermont.
What's that?
I'm out of Washington, Vermont.
Washington, Vermont, okay.
Yeah, so how cool was that? How often have you seen an Allberg snowmobile before, as well as those vertical pipes on that cat? Truly saw some truly unique things at that show in Island Pond, Vermont. Now, I was just speaking earlier in the week with one of the organizers of that show. They're still working on an exact date, but they're thinking it's probably going to be either the first or second Saturday in March in Island Pond, Vermont. And this is put on by the Kingdom Grill in Island Pond, Vermont. So if you're ever going through town looking for something to eat, that's a wonderful restaurant. I've been there several times, and they have some really nice food over there. And they host this Vintage Snowmobile show. That was the first annual, and it was a huge success. As you see, there were a lot of people there, a lot of sleds, exhibitors there. I'd expect it to be even bigger this coming winter. So if you're going to be in the area first or second week of March, be sure and check it out. And as I have news about the exact date of that, I will air it here on the podcast so we can all be up to date on that. A few things before we wrap up the show. I've got some links in the description for a number of things. There are some Facebook groups and pages in there where you can view and post things for sale. Good friend of mine, Rick Simula, has a new group. He's just started in the last week or so. And I apologize, I'm drawing a blank on the exact name of it, but it's something like Legendary Racing Sleds Buy and Sell. The link is in the description. It won't be hard to find. And I'd love for you to get on there and check it out. Any kind of things for sale, buying, selling, wanted to do with vintage snowmobiles is fair game on there. And then also I've got my own Facebook group on there called Wheels, Keels, and Snowmobiles. Anything with a motor, cars, trucks, boats, ATVs, snowmobiles, RVs, anything like that is fair game to view and post on there. I encourage you to scroll down the links and check it out. While you're scrolling, there are a couple of other things too that I have not talked about yet on the podcast. See these wonderful logos from yesteryear that we all remember and love? You can get any of these logos put on a mug, a t-shirt, a hoodie, a magnet, a tote bag, anything you like. You can have that logo put on there, printed. And there's a link in the description. Just click on it and it'll take you there. You can pick out your logo and then pick out what you'd like to have it printed on. These make wonderful Christmas gifts, and it's done in the USA. Lastly, if you had as much fun as I did last season, season 1, with the Vintage Snowmobile Podcast, you're going to love this 2-DVD set. This 2-DVD set contains all of the interviews from season 1, plus, which is almost, by the way, this is almost 4 hours of vintage snowmobile entertainment. Plus, if you order in the next day or two, I'm going to throw in another free DVD with some more vintage snowmobile programming on it. I'm going to keep it a secret as to what it is, but I guarantee you're going to like it. It's only $24.99 for the 2-disc set plus the free bonus disc. It's a heck of a bargain. And if you enjoyed last season as much as I did, this is a wonderful souvenir, a wonderful keepsake, and a wonderful gift, especially for Christmas. So I hope you will consider clicking the link in the description and ordering your 2-DVD set with the free bonus disc. You can only do that as long as supplies last as far as the bonus disc to give you that extra bargain. But yeah, I hope that when we're finished the podcast here, you will scroll down and take a look and take advantage of some of these offers. Well, that is all we have tonight. I thank you so much for tuning in. I thank the Bridge Street Garage Racing Team for coming on tonight. They are the house racing team for the Vintage Snowmobile Podcast, and they're going to be checking in regularly throughout the season. And also our friend Joshua Gilbert, another racer from out west, made a comment tonight. We thank him for doing so, and I'd like to have him on a future podcast as well to find out what his plans are and his goals for the upcoming season. All right, folks, that is it. Thank you so much for viewing. We'll catch you on the other side next week, same time, Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, and we'll close as usual with this final word from our friends at Mad Ramps.
It's the ultimate combination of simplicity and ingenuity. The newest way to load, unload, and transport your ATV or UTV. The Mad Ramps Pivoting Ramp System. Made in the USA and engineered for strength and durability. Maneuver through tight places and over rugged terrain with plenty of ground clearance. No licensing, no ongoing maintenance costs, and no storage hassles like trailers. Won't slip or move like conventional ramps. Free up more cargo space in the bed of your truck. Securely connects to your truck's receiver hitch. Easily extends for safe loading and unloading. Seamlessly retracts for highway and off-road travel. DOT approved in all 50 states and Canada. Quickly disconnects in under a minute. A unique space-saving storage system. The Mad Ramps Pivoting Ramp System. Go farther. Go faster. Go safer.
When you order using the link in the description, I'll send you 3 free Vintage Snowmobile DVDs. When you order using the link in the description, I'll send you 3 free Vintage Snowmobile DVDs.